They rarely come right out and say it. Instead, they expect you to somehow understand. And when you miss the signal, suddenly you're labeled clueless. Welcome to the fascinating chaos of the female mind. But relax, because today I'm pulling back the curtain for you. In this video, we're diving into 13 powerful things women secretly crave from men, but will almost never admit out loud. And if you learn to do even a handful of these well, you'll notice women becoming drawn to you emotionally, mentally, and yes, even physically. I'm Amelia, and this is Dark Psychology, the place where we explore the hidden forces behind attraction, power, and influence. Make sure you subscribe, because what you're about to hear are insights most men go their entire lives without discovering. And stick around until the end, because I'm sharing a bonus move that can instantly make you 10 times more attractive without saying a single word. Let's start with number one. 1. Saying, "Don't worry, I've got this." It sounds simple, almost too simple, but it's one of the most powerful phrases a man can say to a woman. "Don't worry, I've got this." Maybe you're fixing a tire. Maybe you're making a decision at a restaurant. Maybe you're handling the bill or solving a small problem. Whatever the situation is, those few words have an incredible effect. They make a woman relax in a way that's hard to explain. Why? Because they tap directly into one of the deepest desires women have: security. And no, this isn't about money. It's not about being controlling or dominating. It's about leadership. It's about being the kind of man who sees stress and calmly handles it. A man who notices the pressure in the moment and removes it. A man who creates a space where she can finally breathe. Even strong, independent women crave this. Believe me, many of us can lead. We can solve problems. We can manage our lives perfectly well on our own. But when a man confidently steps forward and says, "I've got it handled," something deep inside us responds. It creates a feeling of safety. It tells us, "You're okay now. He's here." And in that moment, something shifts. The resistance fades. Trust starts to build. And when trust appears, emotional walls begin to fall. Here's the dark psychology behind it. Moments like this trigger a biological response. When a woman feels protected, her cortisol, the stress hormone, begins to drop. At the same time, oxytocin, the hormone responsible for bonding and connection, starts to rise. So those 5 simple words aren't just attractive, they're chemistry. 2. Opening doors. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Opening a door? Isn't that old-fashioned? Actually, it's timeless. And the reason might surprise you. When a man opens a door for a woman, it's not because she's incapable of doing it herself. Women aren't helpless, and we're certainly not asking for a personal butler. What matters isn't the action itself, it's the message behind it. Opening the door signals awareness, it signals respect, and it signals quiet, confident masculinity. It tells her, "I notice you. I'm paying attention." In a world full of distracted men staring at their phones, rushing through life without noticing anyone around them, that kind of attention stands out immediately. If you want to separate yourself from the crowd, be the man who notices the small things. Be the man who opens the door. Be the man who leads with subtle confidence instead of loud ego. And here's a pro tip. Don't make it a one-time gesture. Let it become part of your natural energy. When a man moves through the world with quiet confidence and thoughtful awareness, women don't just observe it, they feel it. Psychologically, even a small gesture like opening a door activates something deep in the subconscious. It represents a man who clears obstacles, a man who leads the path forward. And instinctively, that's the kind of man many women want to walk beside. 3. Fixing things before she asks. Here's a little secret most men don't realize. Even the most independent woman appreciates a man who's hands-on. Of course, we can figure things out ourselves. We can Google how to fix a leaking faucet. We can watch a YouTube tutorial on unclogging a sink or resetting a router. We absolutely can. But that's not the point. There's something incredibly attractive about a man who simply notices a problem and says, "Let me take care of that." You didn't wait for her to ask. You didn't sit back and ignore it. You just stepped up. Maybe it's a loose light bulb, a squeaky door hinge, a drawer that won't close properly. even something small like reconnecting the Wi-Fi. What matters is the signal it sends. It tells her you're capable, you're useful, you bring value into her life. You're not just someone who shows up for dinner dates and disappears afterward, you're someone who makes life smoother. From a psychological perspective, this activates what's often called provider energy. It's an evolutionary signal that many women respond to subconsciously. A man who can handle problems feels like a man who can handle life, and that's the kind of partner women want beside them. Here's a simple move you can try. If she casually mentions something like, "My drawer doesn't close right," don't ask if she wants help. Just stand up and fix it. That's the moment when she stops seeing you as just another guy. She starts seeing you as a man. 4. Cooking for her. If you want a shortcut to a woman's heart, it isn't just flowers, it's effort. Cooking for a woman sends a surprisingly powerful message, not because of the food itself, but because of what it represents. When you cook for her, you're saying, "I planned this. I took time for this. I thought about you." And that matters. You don't have to be some world-class chef. Nobody expects you to cook like Gordon Ramsay. It could be something simple: pasta, an omelet, even grilled sandwiches. But if you put intention behind it, it becomes memorable. Picture this moment. She walks into your place and smells garlic cooking in the kitchen. There's soft music playing, maybe a candle on the table, and you're there, focused on preparing something for the two of you. That scene is powerful. It's not just attractive, it's seductive in a quiet, emotional way. Psychologically, cooking demonstrates nurturing energy, thoughtfulness, and effort. And effort is rare. Effort shows maturity. Effort separates boys from men. So remember this: it's not about the food. It's about making her feel chosen, valued, and safe. And when a woman feels those things, she opens up emotionally in ways that surprise even herself. 5. The right kind of compliments. Women do love compliments, but not necessarily the obvious ones. Yes, hearing "you're beautiful" feels nice, but what really stands out are compliments that notice something specific. For example, "That dress fits you perfectly. It has such a confident vibe. You have a really sharp sense of humor. I love how creatively you think about things." Those kinds of compliments land much deeper. Here's the psychology behind it. When you compliment something she chose, her style, her ideas, her personality, you're acknowledging her effort and identity. And that feels meaningful. Think about it this way: a woman didn't choose her natural eye color, but she did choose her outfit. She developed her personality. She picked the fragrance she's wearing. So when you say, "You smell incredible," or "Your style is amazing," it shows you're paying attention. And attention makes a woman feel seen. Generic compliments create momentary pleasure. Intentional compliments create connection, and connection is where real attraction grows. 6. Offering your jacket even when she says she's fine. Here's a little truth many women won't admit. When a woman says she's fine without your jacket on a cold night, she's often not actually fine, but she won't ask for it. Why? Because part of her wants to see if you'll notice. Will you pick up on the moment? Will you offer it without being asked? When a man instinctively takes off his jacket and wraps it around her shoulders, something subtle but powerful happens. It signals protection. It says, without words, "I'll take care of you." That gesture makes a woman feel feminine, appreciated, and safe, emotions that exist deep within the subconscious, even for the most independent person. And moments like that stick. She'll remember it. She might tell her friends about it later. She might think about it when she's lying in bed that night, because you didn't just warm her shoulders. You warmed her heart. 7. Forehead kisses. If you want a gesture that instantly melts emotional defenses, try this one. A forehead kiss. Not the lips, not the neck. Just a gentle kiss on her forehead. It may seem small, but emotionally it carries huge meaning. A forehead kiss feels pure. It isn't driven by lust. It communicates care, reassurance, and affection. It says, "I'm here." It says, "You're safe with me." And that message travels straight to the heart. Psychologically, gestures like this release oxytocin, the hormone responsible for emotional bonding. It creates a sense of warmth and closeness similar to a deep, comforting hug. But there's another reason it matters. It shows respect. It tells her she's more than just a physical attraction. She's someone you value as a person. Women crave that type of affection, even if they never say it out loud. So the next time you're walking her to her car or sitting close together on the couch, lean in and gently kiss her forehead. No speech required. Let the gesture speak for you. Chances are she'll remember that moment for a very long time. 8. Unexpected gifts. Let's clear up a common misconception. Women don't fall in love with expensive jewelry or flashy gifts. What they fall in love with is meaning, and meaning becomes strongest when it arrives unexpectedly. A surprise gift given just because has far more emotional power than something given on a holiday. Maybe it's a single rose from a street vendor. Maybe it's a small note you left on her pillow. Maybe it's a quirky little object you saw and thought, she'd laugh at this. The value isn't in the price tag. The value is in the thought behind it. That kind of moment lands differently. Why? Because it quietly says, I was thinking about you even when you weren't here. From a psychological standpoint, this creates what's known as emotional anchoring. She begins to associate you with positive feelings, surprise, happiness, validation. Suddenly, you're no longer just another man in her life. You become the one who notices her, the one who pays attention when others don't. And that's powerful. It's not about expensive gifts or luxury gestures. It's about timing and meaning. The human brain remembers unexpected moments far more vividly than predictable routines. That's how you leave a lasting imprint in someone's memory. So maybe you bring her a small gift after a long day. Maybe you stop by with her favorite coffee when she wasn't expecting company. Maybe you send a random meme that only the two of you would understand. When you become the source of those small, joyful surprises in her life, she begins to associate you with happiness, and once that connection forms, she'll never want a day without you in it. 9. Saying, I love you, first. Now, this one can feel intimidating, but listen carefully. Women are emotionally strong, but we're also emotionally cautious. And for many women, saying, I love you first feels incredibly risky. Why? Because deep down, there's a fear of rejection, a fear of feeling too vulnerable too soon, a fear of being seen as clingy or misunderstood. So instead, many women wait. They hint, they hope, but inside, they're often wishing you would take the lead. When a man says, I love you first, it creates two powerful effects. First, it gives her permission to finally express the feelings she may have been holding back. Second, it makes her feel chosen, not just liked or appreciated, but truly seen and wanted. And here's the psychological twist. When a man expresses love first, it signals emotional courage. It shows that he's confident enough to be vulnerable, that he's willing to risk his heart, and that kind of emotional strength is deeply attractive. Yes, it's normal to feel nervous. You might wonder, what if she doesn't feel the same? Or what if I ruin everything? But the truth is, if she's still investing in the relationship, replying to you, showing up, smiling when she hears from you, there's a strong chance she's waiting for that moment. And when you say it sincerely, something powerful happens. Her emotional walls soften. The connection deepens. So if the feeling is real, don't overthink it forever. When the moment feels right, say it. It might open the door to the deepest intimacy you've ever experienced. 10. More foreplay, winning her mind first. Let's be honest about something many men never hear clearly enough. If you want to truly connect with a woman physically, you must first connect with her mentally. For men, arousal often works like a switch, quick and immediate. But for women, it's more like a dimmer switch. It builds slowly, layer by layer. That's why foreplay matters so much. It's not a small extra step. It's the entire foundation. Yet many men rush through it or skip it completely. And when that happens, they're not just skipping a physical experience, they're skipping the emotional safety and connection that allow her to fully open up. Foreplay activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps a woman relax and become receptive to pleasure. Without that sense of safety and anticipation, the experience never reaches its full depth. And foreplay isn't just about kissing. It's the slow eye contact, the gentle touch that lingers a second longer than expected, the playful teasing, the whispered words that create tension and anticipation. It's the buildup that captivates the mind. Interestingly, neuroscience shows that dopamine, the chemical linked to excitement and desire, rises most strongly during anticipation, not just during the final moment. In other words, the waiting is what makes the experience irresistible. When you master emotional and physical buildup, you become more than just a partner. You become the person she fantasizes about, the one she remembers, the one she talks about privately with her closest friends. And here's something else. When a man slows down and genuinely focuses on her experience, many women naturally want to give back. You awaken her nurturing side. Connection becomes mutual, passionate, and deeply memorable. So take your time. Make every moment meaningful. Win her mind first, and the rest will follow naturally. 11. Dressing well and taking care of yourself. Let's clear up a common misunderstanding. Women don't expect every man to look like a movie star. You don't need the face of Brad Pitt or the style of Ryan Gosling. What women notice is effort. Clean, well-fitted clothes, good hygiene, trimmed nails, a neat beard or a clean shave, a scent that shows you care about how you present yourself. These details communicate something deeper than appearance. They reflect discipline and self-respect. When a man walks into a room with good posture, calm confidence, and a well-groomed presence, people notice. Not because he's flashy, but because he's intentional. Think about it this way. Many men expect women to style their hair, wear perfume, dress nicely, and look their best. Naturally, women expect the same level of effort in return. Grooming isn't vanity, it's respect, both for yourself and for the people around you. And psychologically, women often associate good grooming with maturity, responsibility, and stability. Even scent plays a powerful role. Scent memory is one of the strongest forms of memory in the human brain. A pleasant, distinctive scent can become permanently linked with feelings of attraction and comfort. So spending an extra 10 minutes on your appearance can make a bigger difference than you might think. Because a well-groomed man doesn't just look better, he becomes memorable. 12. The power of saying no. Here's a truth that surprises many men. Women are not attracted to men who agree with everything. On the surface, someone who always says yes may seem pleasant, but deep down, attraction grows from strength, not constant approval. A man who can calmly and confidently say no shows that he has boundaries, and boundaries are attractive. When a man expresses disagreement without anger or fear, it sends a clear signal. He has standards. He respects himself. And that self-respect commands respect in return. When someone agrees with everything simply to avoid conflict, it starts to feel inauthentic. It suggests insecurity or a need for validation. And emotional neediness quickly weakens attraction. Women want to admire and respect the man they're with, but respect is difficult when someone constantly sacrifices their own opinions just to please others. Saying no when it's honest and necessary creates balance. It shows confidence and independence. Psychologically, many women are drawn to men who have a clear sense of self, men who can challenge ideas respectfully and remain steady even during emotional moments. So don't be afraid to stand by your views. Have your own plans, your own pace, your own direction. Each time you express a boundary with calm confidence, you reinforce one simple message. You're not trying to be controlled by approval. You're living with self-respect, and that is undeniably attractive. 13. Keep flirting, always. Finally, we reach something many men forget after the early stages of dating: flirting. Flirting isn't just something you do before the first kiss. It's the oxygen that keeps attraction alive. Yet many men stop once they feel comfortable in the relationship. But every woman, whether she's dating, committed, or married, still wants to feel desired. She wants to feel chosen again and again. Flirting feeds that energy. It's the playful look across the room, the teasing comment that makes her laugh, the way you lightly touch her hand while she's speaking, the whisper in her ear that makes her blush. Flirting isn't just conversation, it's energy. Psychologically, playful interaction increases dopamine, the same chemical associated with excitement and reward. That's why flirting keeps relationships feeling fresh and exciting. When you flirt, you remind her that she's not simply part of your routine. She's someone you actively desire. So flirt like it's the first day you met her, even if you've known each other for years. because when you keep that spark alive, you remind her why she fell for you in the first place. Now, before you leave, remember this. You've just discovered 13 things women often want deeply but rarely say out loud. And now the choice is yours, whether you use that knowledge or not. But before you go, there's one more thing I want to share with you. Something incredibly powerful when it comes to attraction. It's called the Bulletproof Flirting Formula, a simple system designed to help men create genuine chemistry and connection with women. Thousands of men have already used it to improve their confidence and communication in dating situations. If you're curious to learn more about it, you can check the link in the description or on your screen to see how it works and how you can start applying it. Whether you're shy, new to dating, or just looking to improve your confidence, tools like this can help you communicate more clearly and build stronger connections. If this video made you think, smile, or helped you see relationships from a new perspective, leave a like. It really helps support the channel. Subscribe to Dark Psychology for more deep dives into attraction, influence, and human behavior every week. And tell me in the comments, which of these 13 insights stood out to you the most? Until next time, stay confident, stay aware, and stay unforgettable.